Welcome to Woking, the natural home of Mercedes and Ducati.
And McLaren.
And McLaren, of course. And the odd BMW. I'm Graham Bennett. Looking forward to helping you out and answer some questions.
So we've come down to see some family, only to push them into recording videos and doing audio for Automotive Tales. Harass family first.
Yeah, no, it was a fun day down out at Brooklands yesterday. I managed to get to Mercedes Benz World as well, which is an impressive facility if you ever get the chance to visit.
Absolutely. So the reason for this video, I want to talk to you about your car. Mm-hmm. So do you want to introduce the car? Tell us what you are. Well, tell us what you're driving, because it's more than just one car, isn't it?
There is a little bit of a fleet going on, but so there's the day-to-day car is a Volvo V60.
I would say very good choice.
Yes, of course you would.
Not that I'm biased in any way, shape or form.
That's an Inscription Pro, which we are about to get Polestar tuned.
Very nice.
So we'll see how much of a difference that makes to the car. And then I have a Ducati Multistrada 1260S, which replaces my two previous bikes, which were a Ducati Monster 1200R and a Yamaha FJR 1300. So I've replaced those both with a Ducati just as a best of both worlds solution. I was getting a little bit of pressure having two motorbikes in the garage and two cars. So now we've got the Volvo as our day-to-day runner. My Ducati is my, if you like, day-to-day motorcycle entertainment. And then a couple of years back I bought a Mercedes SLK 350.
Land Rover reliability strikes again.
Yes.
Like a very old car.
Dodgy disco.
Yeah. So this SLK is the 3-litre V6?
This is a 3-litre V6. It's the last of the SLK 350s that they built. It was made in 2015 and was superseded by the SLC. They're both based on the C-Class platform, but this is based on a slightly earlier C-Class chassis. So yeah, this is the V6 60-degree engine.
Yeah, rather than the other ones which were a 90-degree.
That's correct, yeah, with a balancer shaft.
There's Ferrari 348 going past the other way.
Yeah. That is the last of the line of the 3.5 litre naturally aspirated V6s. It's an R172 model.
Yes, that's the third generation, isn't it? Starting
Correct.
with the R170, and I think it was 97, and the R171, which had the famous bulge on the bonnet, which looked like the McLaren SLR, or tried to look like the McLaren SLR. And then the 172 is the generation you've got, which has got the much more masculine, kind of SL-looking front end. It's a much more coherent design, I think.
Yeah, it is. It's 171 and the 172s are based on the old C-Class chassis. And the 172 SLK was followed by the SLC model, which was the last of the line of the sort of sports light coupe. So the 172 I have is a 350. It is, as I say, the last of the normally aspirated 3.5 litre V6s.
And then we'll see on the video how smooth that is. It's a lovely sounding piece of kit. So that's mated to, it's an automatic transmission.
It's a 7-speed G-Tronic, it's called, automatic transmission. Flappy paddles on the steering wheel should I need to use them, but to be honest, it's a bit of a novelty.
I say that the first question I'd like to ask people: have you actually ever used the paddles? Be honest.
Yes, just to prove that they worked.
Right. Okay.
But to be honest, you tend to be focusing on other things nowadays on the roads anyway. So, and the gearbox is such an efficient tool that generally speaking, it does everything you want it to do. It's quite an intelligent gearbox as well because it learns your driving style.
Okay.
So
that's clever.
One of the first things I had to do when I bought it was actually to reset it because
you'd have learned the previous owner.
Learned the previous owner's driving style. So it's a fairly simple process, but you can reset it to then begin to learn your preferences and driving styles as well.
That's something I never knew. That actually, when you get a new modern car, if it's second hand, you've got to kind of almost tell the car you've got a new owner, I'm going to drive you differently.
Correct. Yes.
That's fascinating.
Quiet. It's more of a cruiser than it is a out-and-out sports car. It's quite nose heavy because you've got the V6 up over the front. So it can tend to run wide if you push it a little bit.
That's tendency to understeer rather than oversteer.
Tendency to understeer.
It kind of makes sense because it's such a short chassis with a really long bonnet.
Yeah. But for what I need, it's perfect. You know, it's very comfortable for long distances. We've regularly done fairly long trips in this.
As you say, it's aimed at doing long distance cruising rather than, you know, hitting a track and giving it the beans like maybe the Porsche would be.
Yeah.
Certainly, its hardtop equivalent, the Cayman, that's exactly what it's designed for. You know, it's mid-engined, rear-wheel drive, hardtop sports car, for want of the description. So it's a kind of a compromise of comfort, quality, and distance cruising, which might be less fun in something more track focused.
Yeah, I mean, even with the roof down, you've still got quite a lot of luggage space in the boot, so you can still get a couple of suitcases in there and still do a long weekend away. A run down to the south of France would be something that would very much take in its stride. Some nice features that come with this car with respect to its. There's an adapter called the Mercedes Me, which fits into the OBD port.
Okay.
And what that does is talks to your mobile phone. It also gives you a view on how good or bad a driver you may be.
So you can, when your partner takes it out, you can see just how low the MPG got.
Actually, she's probably just as quick in it as I am.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so
both blessed with the same heavy right foot.
Both blessed with the same heavy right foot and a desire to explore the performance of the car.
Seems to be a running theme. So before this interview, I did a bit of fact finding to try and make sure I had the facts in front of me. So between yourself, your son and your daughter, I worked out the relevant horsepower per tonne of each of the vehicles. There's definitely a petrol head family. So Rachel starts in with a clear 172. Not a lot of power, but a very lightweight car at 166 horsepower per tonne. Followed by you with the SLK 350, which is 198.7 being very important, brake horsepower per tonne. And Dave, your son, with the M140, 234.48 brake horsepower per tonne, which is a little bit insane. But we'll come to that as a separate video you'll see or may have seen at this point in time on the channel.
Yeah, we all have a love of tyre depots.
Yes.
So this is 2015 car with 7,000 miles on it.
I mean, I've known cars with less than 3 months old with that sort of mileage on. Certainly goes well.
When you want it to, it'll pick up its heels and run along. Yeah, that's for sure.
Let's talk about some facts and figures of the Mercedes 350. So we've talked about it being a 3-litre V6. It's normally aspirated. The 7-speed G-tronic gearbox has got to put that to the rear wheels. But it's a 306 horsepower motor, according to my fact finding, with 370 newton meters or 272 foot-pounds in old money. So it's certainly no slouch, that's for sure. What I found is 5.6 seconds to 60, which seems to be pretty quick. I mean, anything below 6 seconds, I think, is pretty. Yeah. It's faster than you're ever going to need on a public highway, I think. So, the most important thing we actually tested, and I'll stick this in the video.
So the Magic Sky roof, as you can see at the moment, is nice and clear.
Oh yeah.
You push the button.
And look at that.
Yeah, magic.
Darkens out.
Yeah.
I guess it's good if you're driving long distance, which is what this is for.
Yeah.
And you don't want the sun burning the top of your head. You don't have to wear the obligatory hat.
Yeah.
Time.
We're not quite in the south of France today, but
no.
if you were in Monaco or in the south of France somewhere and you didn't want the sun beating you,
that's a really clever look to get it. Let's the light
really fast. It's really fast. And then the roof itself is powered, goes down in about 20 seconds, slightly quicker than the earlier models.
That's great. Just got to remember not to leave it down when it rains, which, as you can now see the clouds.
Okay. And then rain, typical grey clouds as you got today. So all of a sudden you need the roof to go back up again. as standard, the roof will not go up when the vehicle's moving.
Yeah.
But this vehicle's got a smart top fitted. So we retrofitted a smart top to the car, and that allows the roof to be operated remotely, but also gives you the advantage that if you wish to, you can now move that roof up to 30 miles an hour.
Oh wow, that's quite useful.
Yeah.
I've had the problem in the 986 before where you kind of go, I'm not sure, I'm going to go for it, and then the traffic starts moving, you're like, come on, hurry up, hurry up. And I timed it, that took 19 seconds for that to go up, so that's pretty quick.
19 seconds for the roof to go down, that's pretty impressive for a modern vehicle.
It is. I mean, it was obviously one of the things we were looking for when we chose the SLK. Eventually, we'd been looking at sort of two-seater coupes. We'd looked at the Z4, we'd looked at the Boxster, and we looked at the SLK. And the thing that finally sold us for the SLK was some of the convenience factors, like the roof, the fact that you can operate the roof remotely from the car now with the smart top module. And it looks like a fantastic piece of German engineering. It's poetry in motion to watch that,
Absolutely.
Watch that roof work.
It's interesting, I hadn't realised that the R170, the first generation of SLK back in 97, was actually the car that pioneered the metal folding roof. So they were the first vehicle I'm aware of, and certainly the internet seems to be aware of, that had that proper tin top folding roof, which gives you the best of both worlds. You go for a Boxster, you're living with a fabric roof. You go with the Z4, exactly the same, although I think the new ones now have a tin top as well. So yeah, it's really quite a good idea, because it means you can live with it through winter. Having owned a few cabriolets, those with a fabric roof, it's just a nightmare. You know, you go around a corner and you get this dribble of water coming out of the seal from the roof somewhere, and you arrive at your destination with a wet patch in your crotch. It's not really ideal.
The Brooklands Museum bosses are doing the rounds as well.
Yeah.
It's a nice haze of burning
Blue
oil.
smoke, yes.
Lovely.
Lung full of diesel.
If you enjoyed this video, do please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
You can also now follow us on all the usual social media things.